Regional Championship Medal is one of the most prestigious awards you can get in the Pokemon Go PvP world. Behind Worlds, of course. It requires you to face off against some of the best players in the game in a 2-day event without losing more than 2 rounds. Yeah, you heard me right. Lose 2 rounds and you're out.
Oh no.
So when I saw that Vancouver would be hosting a regionals in March, I did what I normally would do and got a stupid idea. I want one of those medals. I really didn't know what I was getting into. So I signed up on RK9 Labs, packed my bags, and hopped on a flight to the beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia to compete in Pokemon Go's 2023 Regional Championships. So we landed in Vancouver on a Tuesday, and the competition didn't start until Sunday. So we had to kill a few days with some fun activities like skiing, fishing,
well, I guess we don't have a choice.
Dancing. Wait, hold up. That's not supposed to be in here. That's the great thing about these events though, is you get to visit other cities, and damn was Vancouver beautiful. So one thing you must do before you compete is submit your team plus the movesets they have and their IVs. So on Friday night, I hopped on the computer, click submit, and it was go time. Okay, it's the night before the competition. If you ask me if I'm nervous, yeah. But if you ask me if I'm gonna have a good time, I'd say yeah. With that though, we ended the night with some last minute practice with the homie Chrome PvP until it was time to go to bed.
Welcome to the beautiful city of Vancouver. It's a crisp, rainy morning in a city that brought the heat last season.
So you're required to show up at 9 AM for a briefing, so I headed down to the convention center. First thing you do when you enter is you need to go sign in, and this is where I did it. I was gonna get footage of me signing in, but completely forgot to press record button, but the guy who signed me in was super nice. Next, we headed to find the hall where the tournament was happening. It was pretty hard to miss. And let me be the first to say, this place was huge.
Oh, here comes Pikachu.
Now once we got in, we headed over to the Pokemon Go section where we got our team paper. This is the paper that you would swap with your opponents so they know what your team was and you would know what their team was. You really didn't want to lose this. Also, you might recognize one of the judges. This is Pogo King. Him and his team were the judges for the day, and I just want to give them a huge thank you for volunteering to help run these tournaments.
You're playing.
I am.
Nice, that's exciting.
I know, I'm excited.
He also has a YouTube channel, so you can go sub to him if you want to see some high-level PvP battles. Now at 9 AM, they gave a briefing on how everything worked. Pretty much how it would work is you would be refreshing a website that you could get access to by scanning a QR code on the tables. Then when it was your turn to battle, you'd be given a table to sit at and 5 minutes to get there and start your games. You were given an estimated time for when your games would be, but it was your responsibility to keep track of things, and sometimes things got ahead of schedule. I was in Group C, so once 10 AM hit, it was time for my first game.
Round 1.
Now this is Iomero. He's part of the 7-Eleven gaming team and was once ranked #1 player in the world in Go Battle League. And guess what? My first game was against him.
I'm in danger.
Now at the time I didn't know any of this, so I played my best and was actually able to win the first game. The second game I had a great lead, but ended up choking and making a terrible swapping Umbreon into their Medicham. In the final game as well, I had 2 versus 1 shields with my Swampert versus their Stunfisk, but ended up throwing it by making terrible plays since I was so nervous. Remember, these were my first games ever in an official tournament, so the nerves hit home. With that though, we ended on an awkward handshake and I had officially lost my first round.
Round 2.
Now, since I lost, I was in the loser's bracket, which meant one more loss and I was out forever. This also meant that I needed to win all of my games from here on out to make it to the finals. However, before we get into my second round, I do want to butt in here to show you guys, we only had 12 tables for Pokemon Go at the tournament versus the hundreds of tables behind me for VGC and TCG. Honestly though, I was pretty happy with the turnout for Pokemon Go as we've only been allowed to compete in these tournaments for the last 2 years. We're pretty new to this space. However, would love to see this game continue to grow and hopefully we get more tables next time. So at 11 AM, it was time for my second round. This time I was paired up with a trainer called Know-It-All PvP. I had noticed by now that my team was very weak to Azumarill, and his team had one. and he led it. There wasn't much I could do about that game, so I ended up losing it. At this point, I thought it was over for me. I thought I was going to be knocked out 0-2. But some way I was able to pull through and won the last 2 games to keep me in the competition. By the way, sorry about the cropped video in those last 2 rounds. I was so focused on the battles, I didn't really focus on getting the best footage.
Round 3.
I was confident after my win, but I knew Azumarill was still a threat to my team. My next match was against Lawson Cody 2022, and it was not going to be a walk in the park. He was part of the Deoxys Alberta forum group, which you'll want to remember for later. Now again, I was met with my arch enemy, Azumarill. However, this time my opponent saw the weakness straight away. I ended up losing that first match to an Azumarill sweep. However, I was putting up a fight and took it in the second match as I chased down that Azumarill with all of my Pokemon. Finally, in the third match, he hit his Azumarill in the back and there was really nothing I could do as he kept shields for it. And pretty much that was it. It was over for me at Vancouver Regionals.
I lost. Definitely my team was weak to Azumarill, so next time I'll make sure my team's a bit more balanced because honestly, I kind of struggled versus Azumarill.
However, even if I lost, the event wasn't over and there was still plenty of fun to be had. They had these card shops all along the east wall, so I checked them out and even bought a couple to make changes to some decks I had brought. They were even running side events all day, which I competed in some, and actually won a game with that deck I had just bought cards for. Maybe I should think about switching my content to TCG, because I can actually win in that. I also checked out the winners medals, which one day I will own. We also did some elite raids, met some longtime internet friends and moderator here on the channel, and watched as the winners continued to battle and push throughout the day for that first place. This tournament ended up being won by Dilap, so huge congratulations to him. Remember that Alberta PvP group we talked about earlier? Yeah, he was on it, so technically I lost to the friend of the winner, right? I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to come up with excuses. The thing about these things, though, is excuses are not enough. If I want to win next time, I know I need to train more, practice more, and be more prepared to push far and do my best. I do, however, want to give a huge thank you, though, to everyone who came up to me and said hi at Vancouver Regionals, and everyone who helped run this event. Also, shout out to my mod team and my mom, who actually convinced me to come compete at this tournament, because at first I was not confident and did not want to do it. If you've ever considered competing in a regionals, I strongly urge you to give it a go. It's honestly one of the best ways to battle in Pokemon Go, make new friends, and overall just have a blast. Because even if you lose, you can always come back and win it all. Hartford Regionals, I'll see you soon.